Okay. This is for June 17 in 3, 2, 1. Around the world and on great radio stations like Eagle Country 106.3. It's Vet Tips with Dr. Joel Saylor of Town and Country Veterinary Clinic. And this week we're going to be talking about pregnancy and questions thereof.
Well, we are around the world now, aren't we? Because we post them on Facebook.
Sure.
And we've actually been seen in Brazil now. So that's.
Right.
But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about pregnancy. Now, first and foremost, the best way to deal with pregnancy is spaying. Okay, because then you don't have to deal with pregnancy. Okay, so that having been said, if you're not breeding a purebred type animal, spaying is obviously the best way to go because it's healthier for the animal. You cuts down on cancers and things like that. So that's my little pitch for spaying. But if you do have a pregnant animal, a lot of questions. People say, "Well, I bred my dog, and how long will it be pregnant?" Well, first off, you're asking me that question. Don't breed your dog. Okay, you don't know enough yet. Okay, so if you're going to breed your dog, understand the ins and outs of it. But here's some general rules of thumb. As a general rule of thumb, dogs and cats, their gestation period is roughly 2 months. Okay, and the literature says 59 to 62 days. But if you say 2 months, you're going to be in the ballpark. Okay, dogs and cats are what we call multitocous. Okay, so they will have actually multiple offspring in the same litter. We all know this. But what that means is you can also have multiple fathers, okay, within one litter. And people don't understand that. So, well, I bred him to the purebred dog, but I've got these other dogs in here. Well, yeah, it's because you didn't keep the dog under lock and key, okay? So, if you want an entire litter that looks entirely the same, after you've bred, you still got to keep the dog locked up, okay? But basically, it's about 2 months, okay? And as you get towards the second month, you want to start feeding puppy food. Okay? Now, if you have a large breed dog, do not feed large breed puppy, okay? Because that's restricted in calcium. You're going to feed just regular puppy food to these dogs because basically that's what you're doing that second month. And they're going to stay on puppy food right up until the time you go to wean the puppies, which is usually around 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, and then basically the next step is when you get about 6 weeks out, you start taking their temperature on a regular basis. In the first week or two, you'll take the temperature once a day. After that, you'll take it twice a day. Most dogs will have a temperature drop shortly before they deliver. And so usually they'll drop about 2 degrees, and then within about 24 hours, they're going to deliver. Now, when the water breaks and the first puppy comes out, okay, you're usually within 2 hours of the water breaking, you want to see your first puppy. And if you do see a kind of forest green fluid that comes out, you need to see your veterinarian immediately because that means one of the placentas is separated and that puppy has lost its life supply. Okay, so you need to go ahead and get in right away. But if it's a clearish type fluid, then a lot of times it can be up to a couple hours before you see the first puppy. But as a general rule, they usually come out about every 30 minutes. Okay, and of course, a dog is going to nest and it's going to have contractions just like people do. It can do it for, a whole day or so beforehand. And they may even start nesting days before. So you want to kind of watch. The temperature helps you out with that, okay, and follow through. And then, of course, the puppies, shortly after they're born, if they're one of the type of dogs that gets their tails docked or things like that, those need to be done usually within the first 3 days of life. Okay, so you don't want to sit around and a week later and say, can we dock the tails? No, we cannot because we're not going to do that at that stage. Yep. But then they would usually come in about 2 weeks of age to be checked over and have their deworming. But, having puppies is a lot of fun, but I will say this, it is a lot of work. And a lot of people say, well, I'm going to let my dog just have one because I'd like to get another dog. I can tell you right here and now, it's a whole lot cheaper to go buy the other dog than it is to go through all the breeding things.
All right, and we'll be back right after this.